Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I'm your reader, Jay. These are going to be messages for Libra in mid-April 2019. What's going on, Libra? How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Alright, guys, mid-April. I've come back this month to do mid-readings for the second month in a row, so maybe we're starting a trend around here. I don't know. We'll see, we'll see. So that's your main spread there, little mini spread for the mids, Libra. What I'm going to do now is shuffle for your outcome and your overall energy once all the cards are out. And they are lying face up on the table. That is when the reading begins. If you've been here before, you already know the drill. The timestamp is in the description box below. If you're new here, welcome. And if you want to jump ahead, go ahead and click down below, okay? Also in the description box, you're going to see the information that you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. Currently, the price is set to $25, and I do basically a very in-depth reading, you know, kind of very similar to what I do for the monthly readings. But as I announced for the April monthlies, all that's going to change come June. So I'm going to introduce some new readings to the channel, or excuse me, to my private readings. I'm going to introduce 2 different formats, and the price for what I already offer is going to go up. And so basically, if you want to get a very in-depth reading that's cheap right now, I would suggest you hop on that, because come June, it's all going to go the way of the dodo, okay? So, Libra, let's just go ahead and get your outcome for this reading, and then we'll get started, okay? Show me the outcome for Libra in mid-April, please. Outcome for, I almost said outcome for April. Maybe your name is April, I don't know. But the outcome for Libra in mid-April, please. Outcome for Libra in mid-April. No, okay. There it is. Okay, thank you. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. All right, let's see what's shaking, guys. Well, mages is what's shaking. All right, let's get into it. Please show me Libra's prominent energy in mid-April. Please show me Libra's prominent energy in mid-April, please. Thank you. All right, coming into mid-April, Libra, you come in with the 4 of Swords energy, all right? So taking a little bit of a break, huh? Taking a little bit of a rest, a respite, time out is how this feels, right? 4 of Swords, we're talking about, you know, kind of wanting to put your mind at rest, but actually while you're on this time out, whether you're withdrawn into yourself or you're spending less time in social settings, or if while you're in social settings, you're kind of inward, you're kind of not standoffish. I don't want to say standoffish, but you're reserved a little bit. And I think the ironic part for you, well, not ironic, but maybe unfortunate part for you, Libra, is the 4 of Swords calls for us to kind of take a rest and release, you know, these pestering thoughts or these pestering moods or ideas or emotions, whatever you're needing to take a break from. I'm feeling, though, for you, Libra, while you're quote-unquote resting, this element, whatever it is, whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're feeling, whatever is sort of plaguing you, is continuing. So you've withdrawn. You're spending more time by yourself. Like I said, maybe you're not going out and socializing as much as you used to. And you're supposed to be doing other things, or you're supposed to be, you know, sort of working through something. But I think it kind of is counteracting in some kind of way for you right now. It's not giving you everything that you were hoping to get while you were on this break, while you were on this timeout. I think you possibly were wanting more clarity or more calmness, and I think you get some, but I don't think it's coming in the way that you want it to. I think it's still a little muddy, and it could just be a time thing, you know. I don't know how long you've been in this 4 of Swords energy. We're doing this reading for mid-May, so maybe you just got into this 4 of Swords energy. Maybe you just started to take more time for yourself in trying to reflect, trying to kind of piece things together, or even release things so that they can be pieced together sort of in a subconscious or indirect way, whatever you're doing. So you may have just entered this energy, and that might be why I'm feeling your brain hasn't really fully shut off, or your emotions haven't really shut off. And that's not necessarily the sole purpose or the sole point of the Four of Swords. Like I said, it really is to rest. You know what I mean? Now, the imagery of this card, this is the Santa Muerte deck, shows a figure nailing a coffin shut. And it's almost like it gives this idea of permanence. And so maybe this Four of Swords energy is going to be with you for a while. I think the only thing I know for sure that's going on astrologically, because I was reading about it today, is Jupiter is in retrograde. How that's affecting you, how that applies to you, I don't know. I think the moon is, as of this recording today, I think the moon is in Virgo. And if the moon is in Virgo, that might make sense, because Virgo is a churner, okay? A mental churner. They churn things over in their mind. They're like turning a Rubik's Cube over every which way. They like to puzzle things out mentally. And the moon being there, or is it Mercury? Might be moon and Mercury. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. I'm not an astrologer, so I apologize if I've got something wrong there. But I feel like that mental and emotional, you know, motor kind of, not revving, what is that? Idling, right? That's what I feel. So, and the coffin is making me feel like you're going to be there for a while. And that's fine. I think that that's actually helpful to you, you know. Whatever you're dealing with, Libra, having to make a decision or having new information that you have to process, whatever you're dealing with. I'm not really sure what we're talking about here, because it is a general reading and it is miniaturized as compared to my 6-card spread, right? So I'm not getting like a full picture. But whatever it is, the length of time, you know, with the nail in the coffin kind of thing, I think that's appropriate. You taking this time out, you having this rest, you kind of, you know, having to stay by yourself in some form or fashion to kind of get clear on something, or allow a situation external to you to clear up. That could be it for some of you. Maybe, you know, you were dealing with friends or family, or, you know, spouse or children or whoever who have their own issues to deal with. And to avoid being involved in their drama, you just take a step back. You don't necessarily have to work on much, but you also know that being present, or being just, you know, responding to messages or showing up to certain events is just going to add fuel to the fire, or it's not going to benefit you or them. So you just take a step back. Okay. So you could be dealing with a Scorpio or Sagittarius. And like, I'm feeling like either these are different people, or this is kind of like what's overseeing the reading for you today. This idea of temperance and death, right? Which one? Oh, okay. Temperance first. Okay. Right? Be clear on this, please. Thank you. Right. Okay. Thank you. Because I'm like, they've been doing this lately. Like, either one, or, you know, whatever. They've been like really like nonchalant. I'm just like, listen, work with me. Anyway, so the next position we have is the Temperance card, Major Arcana for Sagittarius. So you might have a Sagittarius in your life who's significant, but I think the energy of what this is more important, right? Temperance is about finding that balance between your emotional state and your mental state, between your physical space and your ethereal or spiritual space, right? It's not indulging too heavily in one side or one facet of your life in spite of the other facets. It's really putting in concerted and very fair energy in all facets of your life, yeah? Also invokes the energy or the need for healing, or draws attention to what you need healing in. And I feel that, you know, if you literally were nailed into a coffin, not to scare anybody who has claustrophobia or just would be creeped out by how morbid that is, but just imagine, not a coffin, but just imagine a place in your home, your bedroom, an office, wherever you like to chill out, wherever you can go to clear your head. Imagine being sequestered there, locked in for an extended period of time. What was my point in saying that? Oh, right. Because you're kind of forced and confined into one space or into one state of being, it's going to automatically invoke or draw your attention to healing. After you've thought about all the things that you need to think about, or all the, things that don't matter, assume like there's no cell phone or anything, like it's just you and your thoughts. It's just you by yourself in this place, wherever it is. So you think a little bit about, the drama at work, the drama at home. You're thinking over the recent premiere of Game of Thrones, and you're like, oh man, I'm so excited. I can't wait to get out and watch and catch up on the DVR and all this stuff. After all that bullshit goes through your head, you eventually, I don't know about you, at least this is what happens with me. When I spend an extended period of time by myself, a lot of times, seemingly random memories or seemingly random thoughts pop into my head. And a lot of times they're pointing to something, yes, that could be nice, like a good memory. But sometimes there are memories where I'm like, whoa, what was that? And it's something that I've forgotten about, or it's something that I thought I kind of had put to bed, This is just an aside, but just to illustrate kind of what I think is going on here, or why this card is here. So in these quiet moments by yourself, Libra, it's that time, whether you're having an extended weekend away by yourself to a spa or something like that, or if you've only got, say 30 minutes each day to be by yourself because you're busy taking care of your family life or your home life or whatever. When you have those lulls, when you have those moments where you can reflect, where you can pause and kind of get some respite with that Four of Swords, I think you would be encouraged to be aware of what needs healing in your life, and then in some ways get a game plan together, is what I'm feeling. Get a game plan together. Because just realizing you need to be healed, or realizing there's an issue that persists in your life that you thought was kind of, put to rest, kind of, you no longer had to address it. If it resurges, number one, you do have to work on it again. And then number two, just thinking about it doesn't mean that it's solved. I think that there's an action point after you realize something needs to be healed. What that action point is, what the action you might want to take is, I don't know. It's very personal to you. And like I said, this is a general reading. But whatever happens, you get what comes next to it, which is the Santa Muerte deck, aka the Death card, right next to it. Major Arcana card for Scorpio, so there might be a Scorpio in your midst who is important to you, but does not have to be. And the Santa Muerte deck, the Santa Muerte card, obviously this is a very different image of death, than what we're used to seeing in the traditional tarot. One, this figure appears to be female. I mean, in this day and age, I suppose technically males can be pregnant. At least that's what some of the news is telling me. But yeah, so a distinctly female image. We've got that crib down there in the foreground. So we've got this motherly energy here, or imagery here, I should say. So some of you are going to have to heal issues with your mother, perhaps patch up a relationship with your mother. Maybe you're estranged from her. Maybe it's just a matter of you haven't called her lately. Pick up the phone, call your mom, tell her, hey, what's up? Haven't talked to you. That's my relationship with my mom. I'm very casual with her, but you might, good evening, mother. I don't know what you guys have going on with your mom, but, and so more importantly than the imagery or the overtone of motherhood or something to do with nurturing, I'm getting what's cyclical, circle of life is basically what this is. As a agent or the bringer of death, as the Santa Muerte card here indicates, how can I explain that? As much as death oversees the ending of things, death also brings in newness, makes room for newness. Okay, so if you really think about it in a very, sort of literal way. When something dies, that person, that animal, whatever we're talking about, if you want to get metaphorical with it, you could do that. It makes space for something new to come in, okay? So I don't want to be morbid, but I just kind of, this is like the thing that they're like shoving into my brain. In a family, when a person dies, and no offense to anybody if you've recently experienced a death in your family or anything like that, but when a person dies in a family, we lose the presence of them, which is painful and it's not easy, but then there is actual space open for a new person, whether that be a child, a baby, like we might have here with the crib, or another family member who needs to occupy that space. I don't know why they're giving me this. Like, it's really kind of shitty the way they're showing it. Like, they're showing me someone leaves the family through death or some other form of, if it's not literal death, it could be, you know, someone moves away, something like that, just to placate you guys. And then when that person leaves, another person takes their place. So that is, and that's a transformative experience. So it might not be surrounding death or surrounding the leaving and then the coming of people in and out of your life. It might not be that. It could just be more metaphorical. But I hope you were following what I was saying. As painful or as unpleasant as death can be to us, how we would be shocked and upset to see, like, if this literally, sort of like The Sims, the PC game The Sims, like, if death literally appeared, we would be shocked and we would be upset and we would plead for the life of the person. I think what they're trying to get me to tell you, Libra, is that when this happens to you, whatever you're losing, don't look at or fixate on what you're losing. Begin to refocus yourself on what is coming in. Refocus yourself and your attention and your energy into what is coming in. If you've lost a person, I don't want to make it cavalier. I don't want to speak about it, you know, like so nonchalantly, but if you have lost someone for whatever reason, let them go. Okay? If you've lost something, if it's not a person, if it's a job, if it's money, whatever you've lost or whatever you're in the process of losing or whatever you're in the process of kind of transforming or releasing, right? Don't concentrate on it going away. Concentrate on what's coming in after it. Okay? I hope that makes sense. And, you know, being that it comes right next to that Temperance card, that's a lot to heal. And again, now they want me to circle back to the mom thing. Maybe some of you, in some form or fashion, has lost your mother. You've lost your mother. Maybe. Got to heal that. You know? And I can't speak to all of your situations. Again, it's a general reading. And it's a condensed reading. So I'm definitely not able to really contextualize this completely. But I think all of these three together, like, to me, it makes sense. Of course, you would want solace, and of course, you would want to kind of put yourself away from other people, withdraw if you're experiencing some type of change. Let's stop saying loss. Let's say change. Like, and it's like a passage is what they're showing me. Like, they keep swiping, you know? They keep showing me images that are swiping, you know? So something leaves and then something comes in. That passage, that trade-off, and I hate to use that terminology, but that's basically how they're making me see this. So maybe you've experienced something like that where it seems like night and day. Like, it used to be this, now it's this. Like a quick turnover or something. So you need to heal from that. You need to take time away to kind of get your head wrapped around all of that. And ironically, not ironically, there's the issue here now with the Eight of Swords, talking about In this deck, I feel this is more akin to like the Eight of Wands in the traditional Rider-Waite deck. And like, anyway, so yeah, this is not traditional interpretation of the Eight of Swords. Would talk about being held back and feeling stuck and not able to move. And there might be some of that here for some of you, but I'm more drawn to how ready, able, and willing these hands are that are holding on to these swords. And swords, of course, are related to communication, conversations, ideas. But given what's around it, you have to mind that. Pardon me. Whatever you want to communicate, whoever you want to communicate with, whatever messages you want to deliver, whatever ideas you want to express. Not that they're caught, but maybe they are. Maybe you're thinking or you're evaluating messages and conversations that you want to have with people. And maybe you're taking your time with the Four of Swords right next to it. You're kind of having to find balance in your own energy, you know? You want to have a fair, balanced perspective with that Temperance card before you speak, okay? This is outgoing. I don't think you're much in the mood for reception, Libra. I don't think so. I don't think that, not to say people aren't talking to you. I think people are talking to you. I think people are in communication with you. And I'm not saying you're walking around like a mime because you don't want to, you know, offset a certain energy or anything like that. I'm not saying that. When it comes to whatever you're healing from, whatever thing that you're transforming through or dealing with, when we see the Santa Muerte card, whatever this involves, you are being careful with how you communicate. You're being very careful. You're being very measured and methodical, okay? Or because you're not fully healed, because maybe you're not necessarily ready to process this change, this transformation, this loss, and then maybe the very quickly thereafter arrival of something new. Maybe this is all too much to handle right now, and so you're just biting your tongue. You're not saying anything about this particular situation, about how you feel, about what you think. Maybe you're holding on to that right now. Despite what I felt when I first got this card, and I still feel, which is you do want to say something, but you have to be so careful about what you say and how you say it, or who you say it to. Again, I'm not saying that, you know, a Sagittarius or a Scorpio are either of the people that you want to talk to, but that energy, these energies I feel belong to people. How can I say that? There might be someone around you who kind of puts you at ease with the Temperance energy. There might be someone that you kind of confide in. Maybe they're the one person you talk to about this entire situation. And then there's another person that sort of embodies or is tied to whatever transformation you're going through, whatever things need to be healed or relationships that need to kind of go through certain changes might rest with one particular person. And so I feel a lot of negotiation will have to go on, or compromising and very gentle conversations. As much as you want to kind of shoot from the hip, or as much as you might want to just get it all out at once and not have to revisit something over and over again, there's like an anticipation, there's like an eagerness with this, but you can't just let it all out. It has to come in its own time, and it has to be, like I said before, it has to be balanced, and there needs to be healing. So if you speak before you're healed, if you speak too quickly, if you say it all at one time, etc., 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 I don't think it's going to serve you. And I think you realize that because you're in that Four of Swords. You're able to gain that perspective, okay? Outcome for mid-April, you have the Knight of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So eventually, there will be a charging forward. I think there will be a call to act. a call to arms, basically. And not to say I think that this is going to some volatile place, Libra. I don't think that's what's going on here. I do feel, though, you want to get it over with. You want to go in, say your piece. You want to go in, hear what other people have to say. And I think you want resolution. You know, the Knights usually are messengers, but today I'm feeling that along with delivering messages and receiving messages, this Knight of Wands is looking for results. This Knight of Wands is looking to see the paradigm shift, right? So all this healing, this work on finding balance and tempering our energy, becoming an alchemist and finding the perfect mixture within this dynamic, I want to see how that pans out in this Knight of Wands energy, okay? So I feel like there's a steady build up to this. Yeah, that might play out over a couple of weeks, couple of months, maybe for some of you a few days, if it's like sort of a minor or less dramatic or traumatic situation that I was sort of alluding to before. But regardless, there is also this idea with that Knight of Wands of moving forward based on what you know. Once the messages are exchanged, once everybody sort of is on the same page, we all know where everybody's coming from, what our different perspectives our perspectives are. The Knight of Wands, in his own interest, he's self-interested, self-centered this way. He will move forward with his new plan, with his new idea, with his new whatever. And that's kind of where you're going, I think. You're going to get information, whatever it is, positive information, negative information, helpful, hindrance, I don't care. But once you have all that you need to have, once you learn what you need to learn, you go forward. You go forward with a bang. You charge out on your next path. So there's a little bit of like I said, didn't I say that? I think I did, like a timeout. It really is like if this was a football game, a basketball game, a soccer game, whatever. Do they do timeouts in football, soccer, international football, soccer? I don't know. I don't watch it. I'm sorry. But just it's a pause in the action. Once the pause is lifted, once the break is over, I think you're ready to get back to business. Okay. Now your overall energy for this mid-April period is the Six of Cups. So I love this deck, and I love all my decks, but the reason, and I've said this several times, and I might be repeating myself with you guys, so I apologize, but the reason I use different decks is because it allows for different interpretations. Now, Six of Cups, traditional tarot will show two children, and one, like, it looks like an older sibling is exchanging something with the younger sibling. In this, we've just got one person. So I'm not feeling really much of what the traditional interpretation of the Six of Cups is, you know? I'm not feeling that this is necessarily about soulmates or some type of significant connection that harkens back to, you know, your childhood or gives you a feeling of nostalgia. Could be, but I'm not really feeling that. What I'm feeling is, I think you're dealing with your own status as a soulful being, and you're really trying to find some nostalgic or reminiscent connection with yourself. Like, this is a lot of inner work, obviously, in this reading, and I think that this is solidified here because the sixes indicate balance, they indicate reciprocity, they indicate having even exchange between two energies. But in this case, I feel that the even exchange is within you. It's very cyclical, and you are the scale, so it's about balancing out yourself. And for you, Libra, as an overall energy, like, you might be having to rectify or find some type of resolution with someone, some relationship from your past, from your childhood, maybe. But I think it's really about getting to this core or central position with yourself and having some exchange with self. This is like really, really metaphysical. And if you were looking for something simple, I'm sorry, but this is what came out. But I feel that's what's going on here. It's like overall, you need to, or you are interested in kind of reconnecting with yourself, finding balance and a relationship with yourself, and even relationship with yourself. So if you've been so outpouring with your energy recently and you've gone into sort of this semi-hermit mode, that is all in the intention of bringing unity to yourself, being kind to yourself. Yeah? That's what I'm getting with that. All right, Libra, that is the mid-April message for you. If you liked it, there is a like button down below. Go ahead and hit that for me. Also down there, you're going to see the comment section. Leave me a comment. Let me know how this resonated with you, if it did at all. You can also share this video across your social media platforms. And of course, the biggest and best button down there is the subscribe button. If you're not already subscribed and you're thinking about it, why don't you just do it? And you should also hit the notification bell. That way you know when I'm uploading new content to the channel. I'm really amazed since last month with the monthlies and then the mids in March, the channel has really grown significantly, and it's only been like 2 or 3 weeks, so that's been amazing. So if you want to help me continue to grow my channel and you want other people to be aware of what I do here, interacting with all those buttons, leaving comments, liking, sharing, and subscribing, all of that stuff increases the likelihood of my channel growing, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to leave you here. I will be back, let's see, in about a week or two with the May readings. And then I'm probably going to do another random reading between now and then, so you got that to look forward to. Anyway, I thank you guys so much to look for. I thank you guys so much to look forward to. I'm blending my messages. I thank you guys so much for watching up until this point, okay? Take care. Bye.